If you walk from Beijing's Donghua or Xihua gates in April, your eyes will be bombarded with scenery like this. Writer Lu Xinwu once wrote an article about Beijing which stated that they only remembered two things about the city: trees and palace walls. Maybe this was what he was talking about.
哎呀，我觉得这句诗概括了我当时的童年印象。天空是碧蓝的，然后呢，满城都是绿树，在绿树掩映当中，会到处看见红色的宫墙，宫墙上面有黄色琉璃瓦，碧蓝、碧绿、碧黄、朱红，这个色彩搭配真是冲击心灵，在幼小心灵留下。
Mario Botta is a contemporary Swiss architect. After staring at the structures in the Forbidden City for a long time, he told his Chinese peers that they didn't have to imitate Western architecture. They just needed to study the Forbidden City. The architects produced such a breathtaking atmosphere with just 2 or 3 colors and rudimentary building materials. From Chang'an in the Tang Dynasty to Beijing in the Ming and Qing dynasties, China's ancient cities were all designed in the shape of a chessboard with horizontal and vertical streets. The buildings were normally erected in symmetry along a central axis. The Forbidden City is the largest palace complex in the world. It sits at the center of Beijing's central axis. It seems small and rather ordinary compared to the towering structures of Western architecture. However, through simple yet subtle variations, it achieves a sense of grandeur as a palace complex. Its beauty emerges through unity, balance, and rhythm.
所谓的韵律就跟那个乐章似的，叫序曲，一起来了，哎，完了进入这个主题，主题完了又起了一个小高潮，到了高潮下来又一个低潮，哎，最后到在结尾了。距离有长有短，空间有大有小，变化不断。北京城由于这个中间的存在，形成两面的对称。我画过一张图，两面不是对称。咱们这么打一个比方，如果把中山装的这个领子看作是一个紫禁城的话，那脑袋就是太和殿了。第一个纽扣就是午门，第二个纽扣呢就是端门，第三个纽扣天安门，第四个纽扣正阳门，第五个纽扣叫永定门。那么从永定门进来2个大口袋，这边就是天坛。这边有乾隆坛，再往里到天安门又是2个口袋，左边的是太庙，右边的社稷坛。你看，中轴突出，两翼对称。
Of the many architectural principles employed along Beijing's central axis, the most important one is the symmetry between heaven and earth. Built in the first half of the 15th century, the Temple of Heaven is situated at the southernmost section of the axis. It covers an area of 273 hectares. That's 4 times larger than the Forbidden City. The Ming and Qing dynasty emperors came here to worship heaven. The main purpose of its design was to highlight the vast loftiness of the sky to show its authority. Both the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest and the Imperial Vault of Heaven have domed roofs with pointed tips to bring the feeling of heaven closer to man. to heaven, the emperor was not only showing his reverence and respect towards it, but more importantly, demonstrating that he was carrying out its mandate. This is the basis for imperial rule. All of the buildings in the Temple of Heaven are round in shape in accordance with the belief that the sky is round and the earth square. The glazed tiles are blue instead of yellow to symbolize the color of the sky. This stadium is the site of the former altar of agriculture. It was known as the Imperial Temple in ancient times, but this concept was replaced by the altar of agriculture in the Han Dynasty. Since China is an agrarian society, the land provides the foundation for people's lives. The altar of agriculture on the central axis is the place where the Ming and Qing emperors paid tribute to the gods of agriculture. This painting was finished during the Qing Dynasty. The guards carrying flags and armed with swords form a semicircle. All of the formally dressed officials are standing in solemn silence. A complete royal guard of honor is present because the emperor is to carry out farm work here. As well as the Temple of Heaven in South Beijing, there is also the Temple of Earth in the north. The Temple of the Sun lies in the east of the city, and the Temple of the Moon is situated in the west. The locations are determined by their natural positions. The sun rises in the east, and the moon sets in the west. The four temples sit on the four directions of Beijing's central axis, echoing one another. What could be more important to all living creatures than them? The owner of this snack store is a big fan of Chinese couplets. The couplet is a symmetrical art form unique to China. Man Guangjia offers cooked tripe free of charge to anyone who can compose a second line to match the first line of his couplet.
那您觉得所谓对联儿，这个“对”字儿，您怎么理解？
相对，平仄相反，内容统一，对句、对联儿、对仗，上联是进，下联就是出，相对相反。
He is quite satisfied with the poem he wrote. The inspiration did not come from the cooked tripe, but from a moment in his daily life.
天明随机起，日落影长阳，往来无寒暑，就地写文章。有一年的深秋，刮大风，外边5、6级风，狂风怒夜，街上没有什么人，我就坐在这儿，就看那个清洁工就一个人在街上，拿大扫帚哗啦哗啦，挺凄凉的。那天店里也没什么人，我就想，这人呐，都是以不同的方式写照着自己的一生。
The symmetry between heaven and man, either from a philosophical or aesthetic perspective, isn't that important to ordinary people. They value the balance in their hearts. Mr. Man understands this well. The idea of symmetry has crept into people's daily lives. From their shape and structure to pronunciation and meaning, all Chinese characters contain the beauty of symmetry. Chinese paintings, poems, seals, and calligraphy all shine with symmetry. Festive lanterns are hung in pairs, and the Chinese word for happiness at a wedding is also perfectly symmetrical. Even traditional Chinese clothing is symmetrical. Paper cutting is a traditional Chinese folk art. The basic principle lies in the duplication effect from one or multiple folds. Wang Wei-chung uses the Chinese character, which means center, as a starting point. With a fold line as the axis, he shows the symmetry of the city.
对称就是给人一种平稳的感觉。你像这个整个这个绳子，最后编的时候它是绳子一点结构都没有，但是我最后完成了以后，你看这个花呀、花瓣啊，它出来都是一样的对称的，代表一种心愿，它代表一种情感，这是一种传情达。
Every aspect of ordinary people's lives is symmetrical. If not, they will feel uncomfortable. Beijing's traditional quadrangle courtyards are also symmetrical in terms of layout and space. Beijing is like a huge quadrangle courtyard. The gates are built according to the principle of symmetry. Apart from the Yongding and Dasheng gates in the north and south, all the gates in the east and west are symmetrical, as are the gates of the Imperial city. Notable examples are the Tiananmen Gate and the Dianmen Gate, Chang'an Left Gate and Chang'an Right Gate. The Forbidden City's Donghua Gate, Shihua Gate, Meridian Gate, and Gate of Divine Might are also symmetrical. There are not many other cities in the world that are laid out with such symmetry. The high gate towers seem to echo each other with an aesthetic and architectural beauty which is incomparable. Their unwavering balance symbolizes a stable ruling order. The pair of stone lions at the gate provide further evidence of Chinese affection for symmetry. It's said that one of the two lions is male and the other female. If so, that's also a sort of symmetry. China is not home to lions, but the stone lions have been sitting side by side at the gates of Chinese households for 2,000 years.
狮子感觉两步哎，头部两步。再一个做狮子啊，跟咱们平常这个人物像还不一样，它这个狮子是个四面花。有时候一看那个狮子没有多大功，实际上做狮子特别费功。咱们做人物都是一个前脸，对不对？掌握好了点。它这个狮子这个东西啊，它是四面。
Does paying attention to the four sides mean that the four sides of the stone lion are in symmetry? Maybe this explains why the stone lion has the privilege of sitting at the doors of Chinese households for thousands of years. These are the most famous stone lions in China and even the world. They are guarding Beijing's Tiananmen Gate. The white marble column standing beside them is a totem pillar. At the top of it, a mythical animal roars towards heaven. Legend has it that the one facing the palace was said to call out to the emperor to tell him to come and see how ordinary people were living. The one facing outwards was believed to be able to summon him back to the palace to handle state affairs. This symmetry reflects the will of the people. This video was shot in Hong Kong during the Chinese Spring Festival in 1990. The cameraman was attracted by the giant dragon. To the Chinese people, it's probably the most familiar and yet the strangest animal. People are familiar with it because it's everywhere. It's strange, since no one has ever seen a real one. The dragon was used exclusively by the royal family as an ancient embodiment of sanctity. Its image is indispensable to the central axis of Beijing.
"认为呢，紫禁城是一个龙窝。你比如说太和殿，得有多少条龙啊？几万条龙。中国人把龙当作一种最神圣的东西，它是可以穿越天地人三界的一种灵物。这条龙是谁呢？就是我们的中轴线。
Beijing's inner city wall is the frame, and the two dragons lie within it. An aerial view shows that one is located to the west beside the water, and the other in the east along the city wall. The eastern dragon coincides with the city's central axis, with its head and eyes located on the central parts of the city. In 1900, someone took a photo in this desolate imperial palace, next to the sundial. A sundial is used to tell time from the sun's shadow. This one is a grain measure for determining a standard volume. Time and the unification of measurement are important parts of social life. Standing in the Forbidden City, the sundial and the grain measure are more like emblems of national power than an aesthetic display of objects. They suggest the harmony and symmetry between national culture and the political system. Through these classic pieces of architecture, the moment you walk out of one building, the site of the next one appears right in front of you.
这个叫过白，风水里有一个重要概念。风水名词也是建筑名词，就是讲主群之间的设计。什么叫过白？就是我从这个建筑看下一个建筑主要的位置上看的时候，一定是个完整的画面，把前景突出出来，一定留出天。留出天就是过白，全部是非常精美的完体，这是中国建筑的一个奥秘。
The blank transition is an artistic way of arranging buildings. Its core is symmetry. Three halls in the Forbidden City dominate the central axis of Beijing. They are the Hall of Supreme Harmony, the Hall of Central Harmony, and the Hall of Preserving Harmony. Each name contains the word harmony. The Chinese people's biggest wish for life can be described by centralization, integrity, peace, and harmony. This is spiritual symmetry. Centralization means that the country is ruled by a central government. Integrity means that truth should prevail throughout society. Peace suggests that people are well off, and harmony expresses the idea that the whole nation is one big family. The ideas contained in these four words transcend the scope of aesthetic symmetry. They reflect the historical trend and the people's aspirations. On March 20th, 2013, a heavy snowfall blanketed Beijing. Everything looks so beautiful, it's almost beyond words. A painter recreated the charm of the Forbidden City in one of his works.
在大雪的掩盖下呢，它变成一个整体的统一的东西。当时站在景山山顶上之后，看到这样的景色之后呢，其实不是一种此时此地的感受。站在这个环境里，你会想象， 100年前的某一个风雪的早晨，是不是我看到的故宫也是这样呢？但是我相信故宫不会变，雪还会下。
The extreme of symmetry is unification. The Forbidden City, covered in snow, rests in peaceful quietness. May the beauty of the unified city be ingrained in the heart forever. Who is wearing a wedding dress on Beijing's central axis? Who is recording their childhood memories through painting? What was the first modern piece of architecture on the axis? Who's watching their son raise the flag in Tiananmen Square? What have photographers from all over the world recorded with their cameras? And where is China's 0 mile marker?